It's one of the great mysteries of American politics. Why won't President Donald Trump release his tax returns? This week, MSNBC's Rachel Maddow suggested she'd crack the case, but that promise turned out to be seriously overblown. Adam Riley has more.
On Tuesday night, Rachel Maddow dropped a bombshell on Twitter. We've got Trump tax returns tonight, 9 p.m. Seriously. A caveat came nearly an hour later. What we've got is from 2005. Details to come. Still, exciting stuff. And then the show started.
President Nixon had taken improper deductions. Does the president have foreign bank accounts? This strange-shaped building was a Trump project in Azerbaijan. This president may be financially beholden to an individual, to an institution, to a country.
Then, nearly 20 minutes in, the big reveal, which turned out not to be that big at all.
Aside from the numbers being large, these pages are straightforward.
Even the reporter who obtained the documents seemed unsatisfied.
There must be something hiding in his returns.
Just not these. Across the media, the reaction was scathing. The Washington Post used the phrase nothing burger, and Geraldo Rivera was reminded of himself.
We found the gangster's vault in the old Hotel Lexington in south side of Chicago.
But Maddow was uncontrite.
There was no return address on the envelope at all. There was a stamp on the envelope.
And took celebratory softballs from Jimmy Fallon.
You were trending on Twitter last night.
Yeah.
And why not? Maddow's underwhelming scoop set a personal ratings record with more than 4 million viewers tuning in.
I'm going to make this quick. I liked what she did. I didn't like the way she did it. They had the returns. It was fine to show them. But that 20-minute run-up, and by the way, I do watch Rachel from time to time. That's what she does. Exactly. She puts things in this store. It didn't work this time because she had this, and it was a ratings ploy, and it worked. Because she kept the first quarter hour. Everything's measured by the quarter hour. It worked, and it was annoying.
It was an interesting incremental story, and by overblowing it the way she did, she had everybody thinking that on line 19B it was going to say $20 million of income from Vladimir Putin, and it obviously said nothing like that. You know, I like Rachel Maddow. I think she's a good presence on TV. She's very smart, but these long intros are why I stopped watching her show.
I can't do it.
And I went back and watched because of this, and I said, well, I'm going to go back to not watching.
The long intros are exactly why I watch it, because she puts all the context in it. Now, to your point about this, and it's interesting, I didn't see this show, so I saw the reaction afterwards, and I thought, well, that's what she usually does. Probably a good producer could have told her at the top, say, we got 2 pages, and now I'm going to give you the background.
Exactly.
And then that would have probably, lightened up some of this, rage. But people don't watch her, they don't know that she gives a lot of context every night. So.
I thought it was interesting for what it said, what the tax return said about Trump, and I wish that there had been less conspiracy theory filling in background. This is the different stuff it could fit into, and more, hey, it shows us that the tax proposals he's making now would directly affect him in a positive way and maybe would hurt you.
Alternative minimum tax.
Right, right. So what it could have shown, I wish that was the context that I had heard up front.
Well, they didn't really have to your point, they didn't have where the money came from, and
No.
I thought he played plenty in taxes. I wasn't worried about the 25%
What
rate.
puzzled me about this, David K. Johnston, who was when he was with the Times, he was the final word on anything having to do with tax and tax policy. Why would he go to Rachel Maddow and do her show?
Why not?
Why wouldn't he? Because if it was really something substantive, he would be on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Or he would have done it himself. But you don't show up on Rachel Maddow, whose show is clearly designed to be polarizing, if you have news that you believe ought to be spread broadly.
Agree.
I think that was a very significant question that nobody had ever answered.
But he has a tiny website he's trying to promote. Not very many people go to it.
Why not go to Scott Pelley?
But if there's not really a bombshell, then you take it to the people who would appreciate any crumb of anything having to do with it, and that would be her audience.
There you go.
All right.